So, Daniel Ricciardo has had quite the Formula 1 career to date. Growing up as one of the Red Bull Junior drivers, his journey to F1 has been somewhat tunnel-visioned. But he then shocked the world by announcing a move to Renault for 2019, cutting ties with the frankly quite toxic Red Bull environment. Speak to any motorsport fan, and they will always have something good to say about the Honey Badger. Okay, maybe not Christian Horner or Helmut Marko, but apart from them, Danny Ric is adored by the majority of the Formula 1 world. I might even go as far as saying Daniel Ricciardo is the most loved F1 driver possibly ever. Sorry, Kimi. But Danny Ric has also tasted success in F1 with 7 wins as well as 30 visits to the podium. But sadly for Ricciardo, he hasn't really been in the right place at the right time to fight for a championship, either due to an underperforming car or a once-in-a-generation teammate. But his move to Renault was a massive deal. Splitting ties with Red Bull meant he was a free agent, and no longer restricted like most Red Bull drivers are. And luckily for Danny, they didn't manage to destroy his career in the process too. So how exactly did the Honey Badger find his way to Formula 1? Well, who better than fellow Aussie Josh Revell to take you through exactly that?
We often look to a driver's junior career in order to gain insight with regard to their driving talent. And with Daniel Ricciardo, there was no shortage of success in this sector. Ricciardo graduated from karting into Formula Ford in 2005. He struggled with the machinery he had as he was driving a chassis made in 1992. However, he won the Eurasia Motorsport Scholarship, which allowed him to take part in the Formula BMW series in Asia. He took 2 wins that year, which helped propel him to 3rd in the championship. For the 2007 season, Honey Badger would begin his venture into Europe, competing in the Italian Formula Renault Championship, driving for RP Motorsport, with a handful of appearances in the Euro Cup series as well. The results on paper looked somewhat average, but he did trounce his teammate and did a respectable job given it was his first year in Europe. And this was obviously enough for Ricciardo to be noticed by the notoriously one-eyed Helmut Marko, who drafted the young Aussie into the Red Bull Junior team in 2008. With this came a full-time seat in the Formula Renault Euro Cup and Western European Cup, driving with SG Formula. In the Euro Cup, he would finish 2nd in the standings, only just losing out to future Mercedes driver and porridge aficionado Valtteri Bottas. In the Western European Cup, Ricciardo dominated proceedings, taking 8 wins throughout the season to win the title. He was then promoted up to the British Formula 3 Championship for 2009, winning that title quite comfortably and adding to his ever-increasing list of accolades. 2010 would see Ricciardo enter into the Formula Renault World Series. He enjoyed a fruitful campaign, only just losing out on the title to Michael Loloshin and finishing ahead of fellow Red Bull juniors Jean-Eric Vergne and Brendan Hartley, although that last one is not very hard. Danny Ric would launch another assault on the series for 2011, but he would not finish that season.
Thanks, Josh. So Danny Ric got his F1 call-up and arrived at the Silverstone circuit midway through 2011 for his F1 debut driving for HRT, which I only just found out stands for Hispania Racing Team, the only F1 team that's ever flown a Spanish flag. Well, to Ricciardo's disappointment, HRT was so uncompetitive there wasn't much point them being there. Sorry amigos. So Ricciardo finished 2011 pointless with a best finish of 18th. To his luck, Helmut Marko didn't drop him like usual and actually promoted him to Toro Rosso for the 2012 season, partnering Jean-Eric Vergne. And while he did manage to score his first championship points in his first race, he certainly was not performing where he knew he could and was actually beaten by Jean-Eric Vergne at the end of the season. However, Ricciardo's consistency in 2012 would then pay dividends for the 2013 season, where Ricciardo turned the tide on Vergne and outscored him by 7 points. And this came in the nick of time as well, because when Red Bull driver Mark Webber announced his retirement at the end of 2013, Red Bull knew exactly who they wanted to replace him. To put this into perspective, not only was Ricciardo being promoted to the reigning champions, he was also going to be partnering Sebastian Vettel, who just came off the back of winning his 4th consecutive title. Talk about pressure. Well, to put it mildly, Ricciardo wiped the floor with Vettel in 2014. Seb didn't even win a single race all season, having won 13 the year before, while the old Honey Badger managed to finish on top in 3 races, finishing the season 71 points ahead of Vettel. This incredible debut season for Red Bull was enough to push Seb out of the team to join Ferrari. I mean, who was the last person to outperform a multiple reigning world champion in their first season with that team? Oh wait, yeah. Well, I mean, come on, look where he is now. Unfortunately though, in 2015, Daniel Ricciardo struggled to win any races throughout the whole season and only picked up 2 podiums, as well as being outperformed by his new teammate Daniel Torpedo Kvyat. Sorry Danny. However, he bounced back in 2016, finishing 3rd in the standings and also back in winning ways after taking the top prize at the Malaysian Grand Prix. However, 2016 was also quite a big year for Red Bull. Young hotshot Max Verstappen was clearly an incredible talent, as shown by his 2015 campaign. So the team dropped Daniel Ricciardo after just 4 races, which Helmut enjoyed no doubt, and replaced him with Max Verstappen, who went on to win his first ever race for the team. Danny knew he had a serious fight on his hands. So on came 2017, and Ricciardo actually outperformed Verstappen throughout the season. Danny Ric finished on 200 points, with Max on just 168, but it was becoming clear that Red Bull saw more potential with Verstappen. And despite Ricciardo's brilliant start to the 2018 season, winning 2 races out of 6, the preferential treatment at Red Bull was becoming more obvious. Following mechanical failure after mechanical failure, Ricciardo had decided he was going to leave the Red Bull family that he knew so well and gamble it with Renault for 2019. I mean, at least there he would be seen as a number 1 driver. Well, the 2019 season did not go to plan. Finishing 9th in the standings without any podiums meant Ricciardo began to question his future at Renault in only his first season, and that takes us to the current day. During the coronavirus lockdown, and before the 2020 season even began, Ricciardo decided to switch to McLaren after Carlos Sainz left for Ferrari. This was once again a pretty ballsy move from Danny that could either work out brilliantly or blow up like it did for this pensioner. Fernando Alonso. So how does the future look for McLaren and Ricciardo? Well, firstly, McLaren is a proven race-winning team. I mean, they rank as the 2nd highest team of all time based on wins, behind only Ferrari. In my McLaren video, I mentioned why I believe they are going to be one of the top teams in the next decade, so I'll summarise. The main benefit for McLaren is that the cost cap and regulations are only going to work in their favour. You look at teams such as Mercedes or Ferrari, who can spend upwards of £400 million a season, and you do begin to realise, no wonder there's no competition. This means teams that run a smaller budget will have a massive advantage in the next few seasons, such as, you guessed it, McLaren. On top of this, McLaren look to benefit from having Mercedes engines from 2021 onwards. We all know the Mercedes engine is the one to beat in the hybrid era, and last time I checked, the McLaren-Mercedes partnership worked out pretty well. Not to mention, I believe the team leaders such as Andreas Seidel and Zach Brown are seriously good at what they do, and so the team can rest easy knowing they are in safe hands. So this brings me on to who will be his biggest competition over the next few years. Well, obviously he'll be partnering Lando Norris at McLaren for the next few seasons, and I think this will be a test for both Danny and Lando. While Ricciardo has dealt with Ocon with relative ease at Renault this year, let's be honest, I don't think it's going to be so easy with Lando. I mean, it's fair to say there isn't any other driver on the grid that has a better junior career than Norris. Winning pretty much every championship he competed in shows he's no slouch, so Ricciardo is going to have to be on his A game for this one. And when you look at other teams and their developments for 2022, it certainly doesn't look like it's going to be a walk in the park for any driver. This makes it impossible for me to predict who will come out on top after the regulations. Now, I never thought I'd be saying this, but Ricciardo's decision to leave Renault may come back to bite him, as Renault have shown to be the 3rd quickest team at the past few races. And with Danny Ric himself sitting 4th in the standings, I'm sure those thoughts are going through his mind. But if I were in Ricciardo's situation, I would rest easy. Firstly, knowing that McLaren are getting stronger and stronger, but also that there's a certain ticking time bomb called Fernando Alonso joining the Renault team. No doubt bringing his political tendencies along with him. I can tell already there are going to be fireworks between Fernando and Cyril. The discussion then moves to Ricciardo himself, and whether he has either hit his peak, is experiencing his peak now, or isn't quite at his best yet. Ricciardo has been a real up and down driver in his career, with awesome performances in 2014, 2017 and this year, but between those years he has struggled to maintain much consistency. And yes, while 2018 could very well have been an awesome season, had he not retired 8 times, he still needs to find that consistency which he's been doing really well with this season. So, to directly answer the question, will Daniel Ricciardo ever be a world champion? Well, I would say there is a very good chance he could be in the running for the top prize in the next few seasons, providing the car under him can be up there at the front of the grid. And what an incredible thing it would be if Ricciardo did win the championship. One thing for sure is he's going to need a pretty big shoe if he does. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments section below whether you think Daniel Ricciardo is world champion material. And as always, make sure to like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell to be reminded of any new videos.